Welcome to Inside the Fight, post-fight UFC Fight Night, Henderson versus Belfort. Great card of events, and we're going to jump right into the main event. Vitor Belfort defeats Dan Henderson via KO. What a KO as well. That's one thing we got to note. It wasn't just a regular knockout, it was a brutal knockout. He got him with a nice uppercut with the left, and then finished off with a nice head kick. Vitor Belfort looks like he's going to be the guy next in line for the title shot after the Chris Weidman-Anderson Silva fight. What's your opinion on Vitor Belfort?
Well, it was actually the perfect way to end the night. A vicious knockout. First set up with the counter uppercut were right when Dan Henderson was throwing his punch. It looked like Dan Henderson was faking his overhand right. He faked it twice, then I don't know if he should have thrown it, but I mean, he started to throw it, and Vitor Belfort was just a bit too fast. Caught him beautifully with that punch. You couldn't really do it any better than that. He had Dan Henderson hurt, and Dan Henderson, of course, is one of the most difficult guys to hurt at all. He has one of the strongest chins in the history of MMA. And Vitor Belfort, though, he has so much power, so much speed, and what a killer instinct this guy has. He did not let Dan Henderson recover. He caught him beautifully with that shin kick right as he was getting up. The referee stopped it. There are some people who believe that it might have been a bit premature, but Dan Henderson was definitely in trouble. And if you want any proof to that, Dan Henderson actually went to the hospital right after the fight and was not able to make the press conference.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys who, when I first saw it, I definitely thought it was too early, it was too soon to call the fight. But upon replay, yeah, he was out, and the fact that he's going to the hospital, it should be enough reason to say yes, he was out of this fight. Now he's in line for the title shot after the Chris Weidman-Anderson Silva fight. There's been a lot of controversy though because he is a TRT user.
Yes, testosterone replacement therapy. It's a big hot subject here in MMA, but I'm the type of believer that as long as it's monitored correctly and your testosterone levels are not above anything that is too abnormal, I say go for it. Why do we need to not see somebody like a Vitor Belfort who's now entering his mid-30s? Why can't we see him fighting still in his prime? How many times do we have fights like somebody like, let's say, Frank Mir versus Big Nog? Do you know how many times I've been told Frank Mir didn't beat Big Nog? He beat past his prime Nog. There's always excuses. Or Dan Henderson didn't beat Fedor. He beat past his prime Fedor. Crow Cop wasn't in his prime in the UFC. That was past his prime Crow Cop. So if you're going to complain so much about these guys being past their prime, why not let them use something like TRT? Why can't we see them at their prime? So when they get beat, like Dan Henderson got beat today, there's no excuses. No excuses. I'm totally for it, as long as it's monitored, of course. And why not?
Well, yeah.
What's your opinion?
I was gonna get to it. I definitely agree with it because, again, you know, in life, everyone's always afraid that it's called cheating. You're doing something that you can't get. You know, it's legal. There's nothing illegal with what he's doing.
Yeah.
No. Does it give him a performance booster? Yes, it does. But guess what? So does proteins and all these vitamins people take. Creatine. No, you could do so many different things to get a performance boost. So I see no reason why TRT should be banned or even look frowned upon. Because guess what? You're right. People complain of that saying, oh, past their prime, he's not as good as he was before. This is one way to keep a great fighter in the game, and I'm for it.
And Vitor Belfort is actually getting better. That is the thing that's actually surprising about him. He has added kicks to his resume, to his move list, basically. How many head kick knockouts has he gotten now? Is it 3 knockouts by a kick in a row? 3 KOs via kick. This guy was only known for his hands before, and now you really gotta watch his feet just as much as his ridiculously fast hands. He is a real threat to anyone in the middleweight division, and even in the light heavyweight division if he decides to stay there. But that is where, of course, wrestlers will probably take advantage of him.
His size.
I do definitely think he should stick to middleweight. And it's going to be very interesting. I know a lot of people go like, oh, well, Anderson Silva knocked him out with one kick, but,
everyone could get lucky with one kick.
It's not luck.
No, you're right. It's skilled, but what I'm trying to say is,
But that doesn't mean that he can't come back.
Yes.
Cain Velasquez got knocked out by Junior Dos Santos with, one big punch. Then you saw what happened in the next two fights. So I am very interested to see Vitor Belfort fight the winner of Anderson Silva and Weidman, Chris Weidman. Either of those two fights would definitely be really, really good. Yeah. And if it's in Brazil, great. I have no problem with that. Vitor Belfort can fight in Brazil for the rest of his career, for all I care.
Now, who would you rather him fight, though? Anderson Silva or Chris Weidman?
I would definitely like to see Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort one more time. Striker versus striker. I think that's a really, really intriguing match. Unfortunately, since they hit so hard, it could also end in one round. But it's definitely something that I like
I'm definitely going to go with, I'd rather see the Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort 2 again. Many reasons, but for one example, I think Chris Weidman got lucky. But we'll find out Chris Weidman can hold on that title next month.
Yeah, speaking of that match, can't wait for it. It probably is going to break some records when it comes to pay-per-view buys. It's going to be huge. Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva. This is the type of match that, as a fan, you're always looking forward to. Was Chris Weidman's win luck? Was it just total skills? Was Anderson Silva clueless in how to approach this man? Chris Weidman definitely did a great job in that first round when they fought. But I did notice that Chris Weidman looked like he slowed down in the last half of that first round. And Anderson Silva was stopping all his takedowns. He started landing some nice leg kicks, and then he kind of overplayed himself with a little too much clowning. And this is one of the reasons why we're not really sure. Did Chris Weidman deserve that match, or did Anderson Silva pretty much gave that match away? It's going to be interesting. Definitely one of the first times that you're going to see an Anderson Silva fight, and you're not sure if he can win this match.
Well, I'm predicting he's going to win it easily. But
easily.
That's right. Mark my words. Anderson Silva beats Chris Weidman.
Will Anderson Silva toy with Chris Weidman again?
No, he's going to knock him out in the first round. That's right. I'm saying it right now. That's my bold prediction. Anderson Silva knocks out Chris Weidman, and we get that rematch in March with Vitor Belfort versus Anderson Silva for
in Brazil, right?
In Brazil,
TRT.
With the TRT. Well, that's all I got for this time. Let us know what you guys think. Do you agree with TRT usage? If you if you disagree with us, let us know why you think it's wrong, and let's have a educational discussion of. No, I said that wrong. Let's have a good discussion on it. Yeah. That's all. Ken wants to